Sound test mic. What's up, guys? Learning with Rich here. So for this video, we are going to continue our learning about Dynamo for Revit. Okay, so in this video, let's explore nodes that will be helping us to sort our sheets. Okay, so we have here, so as you can see, I have multiple sheets here, but they are not in order. So as you can see, the letter C's are here, letter M is here. Okay, so what I want is I want this to be in alphabetical order. Okay, so this will gonna be a long process, but once you have set up the nodes, the Dynamo script, so you can reuse that on your future projects. So all you have to do is to open that and then apply it to the project where you want to sort or rename the sheet numbers or sheet name. Okay, so this is what I want to do. So what I want is I want my letter C's here to be 103. But I can't change that to 103 because it's already in use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this. So let's say I'm going to call this M102A. So I'm going to put A there and then select here OK. So as you can see, it's now there. So ABC. And then we also have letter J here. So it should be here, HIJ. So I'm going to rename my J here. So I'm going to call it 108A and then OK. So HIJ. And then after that, we also have JKLM. Okay, so this will gonna be JKL, so 110A, and then I select here OK. All right, so now that it is already sorted, so the next thing that we may want to do here in Revit is you can change that manually. So maybe you can create a schedule. Okay, so sheet number schedule or sheet schedule, and then from there you can change the name. I know you can do that manually in Revit, but if the number of sheets here, you have multiple, so many sheets, so it will be a tedious job. It will take a lot of time. Okay, but of course you can do that in Revit. Okay, so what we are going to do, let's try to use Dynamo for this one. Okay, by doing or watching this video, you will be learning some nodes, its functionality that you will be able to apply in getting some information from your Revit and then putting it in Dynamo and then putting it back in Revit. So this will going to be a long process, but you can save this Dynamo script and then reuse it once another situation like this comes out, okay, during your project design. Okay, so let's do this one. So we are going to rename this. Let's use Dynamo for this. Let's learn Dynamo. So I'm going to select here Dynamo. And then after that, we are going to create a new workspace. So let me just move it there. So let's create a new workspace. So for this one, so I'm going to, since we're talking about sheets, so I need to get that category. So first node, we'll be using category here. Categories, because we want to get the sheets. There you go. So we now have the sheets here. And then we also need to have all the elements of category. All elements of categories. I'm going to select that. Because the output here is category, so it needs to be put in the node wherein the input is category as well. So output goes to input. Okay. Right. So now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to uh, put this element output to our sheet. Okay. So we want to get the sheet number, right? So sheet, and then let's look for the sheet number. There you go. So this sheets element go to the sheet here so that it will generate the sheet number. There you go. Oh, I'm just going to make this manual so I can run it manually. Okay. All right. So let's use a watch node so we can see the output. So watch. Let's connect that there and let's run it. And there you go. Okay. So we now got the information from Revit, put it in our Dynamo. Now the problem here is the Dynamo reads it differently the way Revit reads the sheet numbers here on our project browser. So as you can see, the explanation here is Dynamo reads first the oldest, going to the latest changes. So if you add a sheet here, for example, you add one, so it will be placed here. It will becomes index number 15. So if you rename, let's say 104, so it will be added here below. Just like what we did here a while ago, right? We have renamed these three sheet numbers to arrange it like this. So that's why Dynamo reads it that that is the latest changes. So it puts those changes here below. Okay, so the order is from the oldest to the latest changes. So that's how Dynamo reads it. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to tell the Dynamo explicitly that it needs to read our data from Revit the way our Revit reads it. Okay, so that's why what we are going to do, we need the help of sort. Okay, so we are going to organize it. So this is another node that we are going to use, sort. Okay, there you go. Now, so we need to get a list. So we already have that list from here. So there, so there's the list. So these are the lists that we want. So I'm going to put that there. Okay. Oh, no, not this one. Sorry, not the list that sort. So what I want is this one, sort by function. The ones that has a two inputs. So we sort by function. So it uses a function to determine how list items should be sorted. So we want to tell Dynamo explicitly that this is how we want to show our sheet numbers. Okay, so we have the sheets here. So I'm going to connect that there. And then the function. So what is the function that we want? So we want the sheet number. So I'm going to copy this sheet number, Control C, and then Control V. All right, so I'm not going to connect that. All right, so I only need the output of the sheet here. So that's the function that I want, the sheet function. And then let's see the output. Copy the watch, and then let's put it somewhere here. And then I'm going to connect that there. Okay, so run it. There you go. Oh, sorry. No, 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 no. So it should be this one. Control C, Control B. Okay, we put the sheet there as the variable list. So this list that we have here, so we're going to put that there on the sheet number, and then we connect the string there. Okay, there you go. And then let's run it, and then you should now be able to see that it's now the same like on our Revit here. Okay, so the node that we have used there is list sort by function. So we get the list from here from our all elements of category list. And then we use the sheet number as a function, and then the output connect to the sheet number again to get the details there. Okay. Now, the next thing that we are going to do here is we are going to arrange now the sequence that we want. So what is the sequence that we want? Okay, so the sequence that we want is we want to start it by M101 going here all the way to M115. Okay, because we have here 15 index, right? So it will start at M101 and then it will end at M115. Okay, so we need that sequence. So we need that um, object. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a range here. So there's the range. So it has three inputs. The start, which the default is 0, and then the end, which is 9 is the end, and then the number of step. Okay, so here in our range, so I'm going to create a code block. To create a code block, you just need to double click at the blank space here. Okay, and then what number do we want to start? So I want to start at 101. Okay, so 101, and then I'm going to put a semicolon and then enter. So that's for my start, and then I want the end. So I want to end it at 115. Okay, so 115, and then step. So number step. So I'm going to put 1 there. Okay, so it will start at 101. It will end at 115, and then the step is 1. So 101 plus 1 equals 102. So 102 plus 1 step equals 103. So that's how the step works. Okay, then after that, so let us now try to run it. And there you go. Okay, so let's put a watch node here. So let's copy the watch, Control C, Control B, and then put it here. Okay, and then run again. There you go. So we now have here our sequence. So this is now the sequence that we want for our sheet number. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do is we want to add our object here, our list. We want to add the prefix M, just like what we have here on our project browser. So our Dynamo object here is like this. So it's only contains numbers. So what we want to do is we want to insert a string. Okay, so we will be using string insert. So where is the string that insert? This one. So we will be using string that insert. So for this, we need to have an input of string. Okay, so currently we only have this numbers. So we need to convert this object that we have generated in our Dynamo to a string, so that we can connect the output string to our input string. So to do that, we are going to convert our string, our object to string. Okay, so let us look for string from object. So we will be using here. So as you can see, the definition is it converts an object to a string representation. So we are going to convert this object that we have here to a string representation because we want that output string to be put to our input string here on our string that insert. Okay, so I'm going to connect that there, right? And then after that, I want now to connect that string there. Okay, now we need to specify here the index. So here on our watch node, so as you can see, we have this numbers here, right? So what is the index? So how do you explain the index? The index is something like this. So if you have 101 here, okay, so you have index here 0, 1, 2. Okay, so 0, 1, 2. So what we are going to do here is we are going to insert letter M on index 0. Okay, so to do that, so let's create again another code block. So I'm going to put it on the index 0, enter. And then we want to insert letter M. So we need to specify a string here. So you need to put M. So I'm going to put open and close parenthesis M and then just click outside. There you go. So I want to put this letter M at index 0 of my string here. Okay. So that's 0. So if I'm going to run it, or let me put a watch node again. Copy, Control V, and then let's connect it there. All right. And then let's run it. There you go. So you now have the M there. So you just inserted a prefix M at index 0. Okay. So if let us try to play around with this one. So if I make this one index 1 and then run it again. Okay. So this is now what will happen, right? Okay, because this is our index 1. from this output. So this one becomes 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So if I'm going to change my index to and then put a letter M there, so this is our 0, 1, 2. So this is our index 2. So from here, once I run it, okay, so you will now see that our letter M is there because that is index number 2. So that's how you specify the index. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so but what I want to do is I want it to put it at the index 0 and then run it again. And there you go. So index 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is now our new output. Okay, so now that we have insert the prefix that we want for our numbers here, the next thing that we are going to do is let us now apply this to our Revit model. Okay, so to apply this to our Revit model, so we need to use our element set parameter by name. Okay, because we want to specify the parameter, the value for our sheet number here. So what are the elements that we want to put here? So the elements that we want to put here are the ones that we got here on our sorting. So remember, during the time we sort it, so these are the output that we got, the A, B, C. Okay, so this is where we are going to get our elements. So I'm going to connect that elements here. And then what is the parameter name that we are going to use? If I go back to Revit, you will see that this is the parameter name, the sheet number, and then this is the value. So we are going to use this parameter name. So again, I'm going to create a code block here. So I'm going to double click and then I'm going to type sheet number. So you need to type the sheet number correctly, capitalize it correctly. Okay. So that's now the parameter name that I want. And what are the values that I want to put there? So these are now the values that I want to put, the one that I just generated from here. So these values, okay? So I'm now going to place it there and then connect. And then I'm now going to run it. There you go. Now we now have an issue here. Why? Because these numbers that we have here. Okay, so these numbers that we have, these sheet numbers are, most of these sheet numbers are already applied here on our project browser. Like we have here M101, but we already have M101 here. So we already have M102. We already have M103 up to M115. Okay, so that's why we cannot reuse again these sheet numbers to put here on our project browser because it's already being used here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to let we are going to trick Revit. So that is what we are going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this. So let's say I'm just going to add a X at the end. So like for example, I'm going to add X. So it will gonna look like M101X, M102X, M103X. So that is the name that I'm going to put there. So with that, those sheet numbers are not being used here on our project browser. So we're going to trick Revit or we're going to cheat Revit. So to do that, I'm going to use again the string that insert. So I'm going to copy that. Okay. And then I'm going to click outside, click outside. All right. So the string that we will be needing here. So we want this string code block. All right. So the string or the index that I'm going, because we already have the string here, so that's the string. Okay, so let me just disconnect this first. Okay, so there's the string already. Oh, no, not this one, sorry. So it should be here. This one, string from object. Okay, so that one. Okay, and then for the index, so since I want to put letter X at the end, so this is 0, index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put it at index number 4, semicolon, enter. So to insert, I'm going to insert just X. Okay, and then just click out. Oops, it should be open and close parentheses for a text. Okay, let's put it there. Put it there. There you go. Okay, so what we want is we want to put letter X at index 0, index 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is index number 4. Okay, so let us now run it. Run, and then let's check out the output. Let's get the watch node. Copy the watch node, Control C, Control V. Okay, and then let's put that there. And then let's, oh, wait. Okay, let me just cancel this one. All right, so let me just use this one, string, okay, and then run again. There you go. Okay, so as you can see, this is the name that we want to put there. So obviously, these names that we have, these sheet numbers are not yet applied here on our Revit. So with that, going back here, so I'm going to connect that string output here to our values. So these are the values that we want to be placed here. So I'm now going to run it. And there you go. So there's now the list that we have here. And then after we trick Revit by just simply changing that, so we are now going to reuse again this values that we have here. So I'm going to disconnect now the value, and then I'm going to reconnect this output here on our value. And let's run it again. There you go. So this is now what we want, right? Okay, so we now have M101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 until 15. Okay, so there you go. So although you have here several nodes, but you can just save this node so that in case you encounter this kind of situation wherein you need to rename bunch of sheet numbers or sheet names. Okay, so all you have to do is to reload this node. Okay, so if you want, you can tidy up your string, okay, or your nodes. You can group it. Like for example, I'm going to select these nodes, okay, and then I'm going to right click, create group. So this is our group 1. So this will gonna be group 1 about getting the sheets, okay, so that you can just simply click this area. Then you can put a color. Then after that, you can also group this nodes that we use to sort, okay. So this will gonna be our group 2 sorting, sorting sheets, or whatever name that you want, okay. Then you can right click, change the color. There you go. And then next is we are going to group the nodes that we use to create this sequence number, which is this one, right? We use the range. Okay. So these three nodes here. So I'm going to select these three nodes and then right click, create group. Okay, so this will gonna be our group 3, and then sheet number sequence. Okay, like that. Okay, then I can just simply put it here. Okay, and then you can right click this. Oh, sorry. Right click, change the color like that. Okay, so that's now our group 3. Now for our prefix. we use this to put our prefix. So I'm going to select this node, right click, let's group that, and then let me call this group number 4. So let's say prefix creation. Okay, just simple name that you can simply understand. Let's change the color, something like this. So we now have this 4. Okay, so next. Okay, so this is the one that we use. These two nodes here is the one that we use to rename our sheet. So right click, group. Okay, so this will our group 5. Okay, rename sheet. Sheet number. Okay, rename sheet number to Revit. Okay, there you go. Okay, then right click. Okay, change the color. That one. There you go. So you have group 5. Okay, for this one, so we use this to trick Revit or to cheat Revit, right? We use this to rename. So let's select that, right click. So this is just an optional in case the sheet numbers are already in use. Let's group this. Okay, so this is our group 5 also. Say 5A. So let's trick Revit. Okay, so let us change this to 5B. There you go. Okay, so these are the nodes that we have used. So from start, we get all the sheets and then we sort it. So these are the nodes. So we have these 4 nodes here, including the watch. And then we create a sequence that we want, the sheets number sequence group. And then we have the star here, string that insert to put a prefix, and then we trick it, and then we apply the changes. Okay, and then you can save this. Uh, Dynamo script. Okay, so that you can use this on your next project that will gonna have this same issue. All right. So that's it for our lesson. So hopefully, guys, you learned something from this video. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can put it on the comment section below, guys, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm just starting to use Revit, so please bear with me if I have a lot of mistakes in doing my training. So hopefully you understand. So thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.